So, can you really sell a house when it has a tax lien on it? Let's uncover that question. So imagine having a property with a tax lien on it. Does that tie you up for everything? No, not necessarily. The beautiful thing about tax lien certificates and tax deeds is everybody wins, including you if you have a tax lien on your property. We're going to show you not only how you can sell a property with a tax lien, but how to profit from it. So stick around. So here's some facts. You can sell any property you want. Okay, whether it's got a mortgage on it, whether it's got a second on it, whether it's got a mechanics lien, okay, or a tax lien certificate. The challenge with the tax lien certificate, it's going to need to be satisfied before you can execute the close. Now that doesn't necessarily mean you have to pay it. So you could say, yeah, there is a taxes owed on this property. We're going to take that out of the closing. So what the title company or the escrow agent is going to do is going to go, okay, there's $16,000 in taxes. Let's use that for a number. So they're selling the property for $200,000. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and sell this property at closing. We're going to take that $16,000 from the proceeds and pay those taxes off. It's a simultaneous thing. Look, anytime you buy a property conventionally, the first thing they're going to do in escrow is make sure the taxes are what? Brought up and current, so that the taxes are paid up to the day that you sell it or buy it, or the day you buy it, or whatever, both sides of it. So when I buy that property, I know I'm only paying taxes from the day I own it forward. When I'm selling it, I'm paying it up to the day I sell it. So a lot of times I've seen developers do this, where they're like not paying the taxes on a piece of property. You'll see this in some of my land videos. It's like, well, why wouldn't they pay the tax on it? It's cash flow. They got 500 lots out there that they're not earning any money on, but they all are generating a tax bill. So instead of paying them, they're like, we'll just let that ride. When we build the property, we'll take that out of escrow on the backside. Now, make no mistake about it. A tax lien is a claim by the county government on your property. Now, in some instances, it could be the state. 99% of them, it's the county. The federal government has nothing to do with property tax liens whatsoever. Let me give you a case in point. When the governor, Arnold Schwarzenegger, became governor of California, there was a budget shortfall. And what he was doing, he said, well, wait a second, there's all these uncollected property taxes. Because see, in California, you can be delinquent on your property taxes for 5 years and nothing happens. So he said, hey, why don't we go after the property taxes to help us with our budget shortfall? The counties went, excuse me? I think within 24 hours, there were like 27 different cases filed against him by the different counties. Okay, these are county taxes. It's literally not even due to the state. This is not state money, it's for the county. So this is how you can drive through the back countries or whatever, and then all of a sudden it says you're going into a new county and the roads are different and what have you. Maybe it's a more efficient county on that. So when you're selling a property and you have a tax lien on it, it's really not a big deal. Having a tax lien on a property, I've had tax liens on my property. I think it's kind of funny because I'm the tax lien guy. But I'll sit there and go, yeah, I don't want to pay that right now. We're almost done with the project and we'll just take it out of the proceeds rather than tying up my capital in that situation. Donald Trump back in I don't know when it was, 92 or whatever it was, the Taj Mahal had tax liens against it, paying 18%. He called up his buddies and said, hey, I'm not paying the taxes on this for a while. You guys might as well buy them from the county and get 18%. What the heck? Okay, so again, this has got a long storied history with tax lien certificates. Back in Arizona, Senator DeConcini coincidentally bought some property in the middle of the desert, and there was a water project going through there. Some of those properties he got with, you guessed, tax lien certificates. What they thought was worthless property, he knew the water project was going through there, so he bought the liens on it. So let's be really clear on this, and this is super important that you understand this right now. A tax lien certificate is a first position lien on a property. It's not, I'm going to come take your property. That's what's so beautiful about this. See, when I'm late on a mortgage, they will come and take the property. When you're delinquent on property taxes, they're not going to do that. You're literally buying time because you and I are willing to go in and purchase the tax lien certificate from the county. Then the county says, okay, now you've got it. We're going to give them 2 more years. So even if you have a tax lien on your property, in some cases you could have 2, 3, 4 years before you have to do anything on that. So what happens is this, during that redemption period, nothing's really going to happen. And I want you to think about the beauty of that. Where else on planet Earth can you be delinquent for years with nothing happening? Literally nothing happening. Doesn't go against your financial records, doesn't go against your credit report. Stop making a credit card payment, okay? They usually don't give you 5 years. Stop making a car payment and try to find your car after a month. And then we've, of course, got the foreclosures on a piece of property. None of those are grace period. This is why, ethically speaking, I love the investment of tax lien certificates. When I'm putting up the money for the tax lien certificate on that property, okay, I'm buying that person time. And so that person that has a tax lien on the property and they're thinking about selling, they're all nervous about it, somebody could have already bought the lien on it. It doesn't affect it at all. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna sell that property with a subject to. This property is being sold subject to the property taxes being paid off. Well, Sean, couldn't somebody come in there and say, well, I'll just buy it at a tax lien sale? It ain't at a tax lien sale. It's just a tax lien. It can take years to get to that. That's not a strategy that you're not sitting there going, you know what, Nancy and Bill aren't doing real good and they're getting a divorce. Let's buy a lien on their property. Again, it doesn't work that way. And when you look at all of those different variables on it, we go back to the purity of a tax lien investment, okay? Doesn't matter how you slice it. Everybody wins. The county wins because they get their much needed revenue for roads, bridges, fire department, et cetera, et cetera. The property owner wins. That might be you in this case. You get to buy yourself a bunch of time with nothing happen. And the investor wins because they get substantial interest rates, okay, with the underlying property as the vehicle on that. Now, here's the thing. If you have a tax lien against the property, it's not a big deal, but you'll get notifications on that as it gets closer. You can even call the county and say, hey, how much time left do I have on this particular lien? And let's say you got 3 or 4 different tax liens on that property. You only have to pay the oldest one. So you can kind of rotate those all. I don't recommend this, but you could sit there and go, I'm going to pay the oldest one. See, you can't sit there and go in and go, oh, I'm going to pay this year's, but not that year. That wouldn't make any sense. Pay the oldest one, and this one's got 3 years. Pay that one, and this one's got 3. You can keep rolling that. Again, we don't recommend that, but again, think about the beauty involved in this. Now, as an investor, even if it does go into foreclosure, I have to notify the owner of the property multiple different ways, which gives them ample time to either come up with the money or, in this case, sell the property. And once the property goes to escrow on that, they'll go, okay, there's a tax lien on this property, so we need to make sure that this is taken care of before we can transfer clear title to the new owner. They're going to want to know that for sure. So in saying all that, remember, a tax lien certificate is extremely valuable to you, the property owner, because it buys you that time. Sometimes 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, even 4 years, okay? It's extremely valuable to the investor. They're buying you time because they're the one that are allowing you to be delayed 2, 3, 4 years on that because the county needs this money and they give it to the county. The county gets their much needed revenue on this. So they can operate the county at the peak it's supposed to be at. They're not worried about budget shortfalls on this. They've got a very strict situation here. They can't just create money out of thin air like the federal government. They have to stay within their budget. Super duper important. No matter what side of the coin you're on, there's both benefits to both of it. If I'm a property owner and I own taxes on this, okay, doesn't matter because I've got time on my side. If I am the tax lien investor, okay, doesn't matter because I've got to wait a redemption period. But when I do get paid, I get those big, fat, juicy interest rates, 16, 18, 25%. So what a beautiful thing. It doesn't matter how you slice this, you're going to win, okay? If you want more information on this, I got a brand new video on how to win on both sides of this. It's unbelievable. You're going to want to watch this, okay? It's full on training. Just hit higginsmethod.com down below, sign up for the free training, and I look forward to seeing you there. God bless and good luck.